Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jay Renee, and this is a special edition of This Week in Black. I know that it's been a while since you've seen me. I was going to wait until the beginning of the year the beginning of the new year to come out, but I had a special request by Miss Shelia Arnold. She lost her son at Wabash Correctional Facility, and she wanted to have an opportunity to talk about that and present what happened to her son to the people. Now, I have to do a few administrative things, so please excuse me while I take this 30 seconds to knock that out. I'll see you in a sec. All right, y'all, I am back. Sorry I had to take that 30 seconds. I had to make sure that I shared that. I'm waiting to get confirmation that I can be seen on Facebook so that we can begin. Again, hey, we're about to hit a new year. I hope that everyone is being safe and is keeping warm. All across America, there is inclement weather. So please definitely be careful out there as you're moving around for last minute items or to make last minute arrangements and locations. So how are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty well. I'm trying to make sure I get all the logistics correct, so please excuse me if you see me look down a couple times. But I wasn't going to say much until the new year. I was getting to a point where I felt like a lot of words were coming out, and I wasn't really sure of all of them. I wanted to make sure that they were making sense and that they had a purpose, and I wasn't just running my mouth. So I took a moment just to be silent and to listen and observe. And it's a lot of things that's going on. That's something that I definitely will discuss in the show to come when the new year starts. But like I was saying, this is a show that has a specific purpose. My sister in love, okay, I call all of those sisters that I've met during this work and just in life that aren't from my parents. We don't share the same parents. She wanted to have an opportunity to talk about what happened to her son in Indiana at the hands of Wabash Correctional Facility. Her name is Shelia Arnold, and y'all have seen her before. I'm going to bring her on and give her an opportunity to talk about the things that happened with her son. I wrote about it in State versus Us magazine, and it gives it in a lot of detail what happened. And we also have interviewed about it and have done some lives and things like that. But we wanted to give her an opportunity to really discuss what happened at a deeper level. This is something that she thinks about every day. And I think that it's important that we stand behind her and the support that she needs, and not only maybe helping her to be able to get some resolution with what happened with her son, but to help prevent this from happening in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. All right, let's see here. Okay, she'll be back to the screen in a moment. So while she's doing that, like I said, we definitely have a new year coming upon us, right? 2024, 2023, I don't know about anybody else, but it's definitely been a very interesting year and it's going out with a bang. And we know how that can be. But here we are still. There are some that didn't make it to the end of this year. We want to send prayers up for their family. There's some that are missing their family, and we want to send prayers up for them as well. There goes my lovely sister. Make sure you unmute yourself. How you doing? You muted, sis. I don't know. I don't think I can unmute you. Nope, I can't hear you. Give me 1 second. I had a sneeze sneak in there. Yeah, I still can't hear you. I'm not really sure what's going on. Make sure that your Facebook page and stuff is closed. I don't know if that has an effect on it or not. Maybe if you leave and come back. You want to try that? You can use the same link. Okay, come right back, sis. All right, we're technical difficulties are going to do what they do, which is be difficult technically, but that's all right. We're going to definitely continue to push on. Please excuse me. I got the sneezes now. For some reason, my body just wants to sneeze. Isn't it great when our body does what it wants to, whenever it wants, at the wrong times? That's all right though. But this is one of those time of years where people can be kind of down, myself included. I hope that y'all are taking care of your mental health and checking on your family and loved ones. I have to do the same. I can't just preach it, I got to be about it as well. So I want to talk to y'all a little bit about what happened. Oh, she's back. Okay. Give her a chance to load here.
Can you
Okay.
hear
I
me?
think, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, it
All
was
right.
on muted. Yeah, I had to go. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
welcome
pretty,
back, sis.
thank you. Pretty new at this.
It's okay.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
I was just saying, just of course, I was letting everybody know, when it comes to technical difficulties, they do exactly that. They be technically difficult, but we're gonna figure it
Yes,
out. And I
yes,
can hear you now. Everybody should be able to hear you. We're broadcasting live on YouTube and across Facebook. I appreciate you for being here today. How you feeling?
appreciate you having me. Well, I'm kind of, have double feelings. This is the holiday, um, but I am a woman of God. I love Christ, so I'm
Mhm.
fleshly in spirit, but I'm doing pretty good this evening. And you
Yeah.
bring me on live, that makes me feel a whole lot better, and I just so appreciate your support because it helps me to continue to
Yeah,
move through
sure.
my situation. Mhm.
You definitely have my support, and you have the support of many others that aren't
Yes,
here tonight, but they definitely are here in spirit.
yeah,
A lot of brothers and sisters know the story of what happened to your son, and they're here for you and have compassion, most definitely. But I know
yes,
that you wanted to have an opportunity to really talk about what happened and to get more word out there so more people can be aware of what happened with
yeah,
him. And I know you also want to possibly, if possible, prevent this from happening again. At Wabash
yeah,
Correctional, a little back
mhm,
history. Wabash, that whole area, Terre Haute is the name of the area, has had issues when it comes to race relations. It's had issues when it comes to the facility there at Wabash, when it comes to violence against prisoners and things like that. So they have a history of these type of things, and unfortunately, they added your son to that list. Can
yes,
you
yes.
tell the people about the type of man that your son was?
Well, my son, he first of all, I just want to say when he was a little boy, I took him to church, and he would try to get baptized like 3 or 4 times, and that's when I knew that God was in him. He would always help
Hmm.
people, no matter what, no matter what. He had a good heart, and he had a beautiful smile. A lot of people loved him. A lot of people mourned his death. And my son, he was in pain himself. He was like a human being because he lost my sister. She was stabbed 17 times by her husband, and that hurt him very deeply and left a scar on him. And we had to come together and go through that together. And my son, we became very close. And my son, he grew up with pain in his heart, a human being. And I say that because
Hmm.
a lot of young men or men that are incarcerated, everybody has a past, but they are still a human being. He still, he loved kids. He had 5 children, and he cared and loved his children. He tried to provide for his children. And his grandfather, his sisters and brothers, because I took in my sister's 6 children, and they had a ball. He was like the jokester. He made people laugh all the time. Yeah,
Right.
he was a singer. He made music. He sang songs, and he even got a picture. It's on my page with I think it's Master P. So he loved music. He loved to
Okay.
sing. Yeah, he was. He had a good, really, really good heart. He had a good heart.
Okay. So how long had Brandon been incarcerated before this happened? And how was his
Um,
incarceration going?
well, I remember Brandon telling me that, Mom, I think that they are trying to hurt me, and then he said, I think they're trying to kill me, because he was not the one to try to really go along, with the system of being on the inside, the way they were treating him. Things like one time, they wet like a dog up on purpose and let the dog walk across his bed.
Mhm.
And he told, telling me some things that went on in the prison. And another time he went to church, like I said, he was raised in the church. And he said, Mom, after church, I wanted to go back to my room and use the bathroom because I had to do number two. And he said that they wouldn't let me. They wanted me to go to like a infested bathroom. And he was a clean person, very clean young man. And they took some time away, they took his phone away, and he was just telling me they were just really treating him like just like he was in a cage. And my son, he told me that, Mom, he said, there's some guys in here that have not talked to their loved ones in quite some time. And so, like I said, his heart, even on the inside, I would make phone calls for him so people could listen to, talk to their loved ones, or he said, Mama, would you put this on someone's books because they can't eat? That's the way my son was. And he said that prison, he said, Mama, they're prejudiced. He said, they're not right in here. He said, please get me out of here. They're trying to kill me. Those are his exact words. Yeah.
He definitely sounds like he has a big heart, you know what I mean? And sometimes people can be just really just worried about themselves. So the fact
Yeah.
that he thought about others in their time of need says a lot to his character. I would like for you, if you feel
Mhm.
up to it, to talk
Mhm.
about the day that led up to the events of
Yeah.
your son finding out that your son had been killed.
Well, I was definitely trying to find help because, like myself, like a lot of other parents and people, you don't have money to pay lawyers, to help those incarcerated, or else it wouldn't be so full right today. But, it's hard getting lawyers, and I think the prisons, feed on that. So anyway, I was trying to get a lawyer, and I couldn't. And it's like, Mom, just keep looking and keep trying. And my son, I seen him like the day, let's see, no, the week before he was killed. And so that week after that, I was on my way to the prison, and I got 3 different phone calls. Let me just cut it through a little bit. 3 different phone calls. And, one that he had emergency, the second one that they were doing CPR, and then the third one that he was dead. And so by the time I got to the prison, because I was already on my way to the prison because I was taking another inmate, which was because of my son. He said, Mom, he said, whenever one of my bunkies there, whenever you're coming to the prison, would you bring their loved one with you so they won't have to take that long ride on the bus? And I said, sure. And that was that morning on November 9th. It was on a Saturday. And I believe Saturday or Sunday. And I took a young lady to see her brother. and her brother called not my phone, but called her phone and told her what had happened. And and she said, "Do you want to pull over?" I said, "No, I want to keep going." So when I got there, they told me, no, they asked me, who did I want to see? I said, "I can't see him because he just died in your prison." So they went and got one of the investigators. But one of the thing about it is the investigator didn't know God was going to put it on my heart. I needed to see my son. And they said there was no foul play. And so I seen my son, and there was a big gash on his head. And it was very, very hard for me to see my son in a body bag all by myself. I was nervous, I was scared, but I prayed and asked God to help me because I knew in my spirit He wanted me to see what had happened to my son. And his eyes were open and they were purple, and his lips were purple. And my son did not just die. And I knew right then in my spirit something was wrong. So to speed up the story a little bit, when the coroner's office in Indiana got my son's body, he said that your son did not just die. So it's a cover up, and it's still a cover up right today. And him having multiple stab wounds on his body, and blunt force to his head and on his legs. And it's like they said that my son, they said that he had drugs in his system, and the drugs made him stab his own self up. But as we know, Jay, and that's where you come in. You and a few other people came in to help me and introduce me to people to help me to understand my son's case, because I could not sleep. I even got in a car accident. I was, had nightmares. It was horrible. And I tried to get a lawyer, but the lawyer in Indiana went along with the prison, and no, they would not go further to investigate. And now I'm just at a loss, and still can't sleep. But I just want to say, with God's help, I'm making it through, and my mind is blessed right today because of that. And I also want to say one of the reasons that I'm on here today, and I asked Miss J. Renee, would she accompany me, because I needed all of you guys to pray with me and be with me and support me as I go through this journey, still exposing Wabash Valley Prison, and that them covering up my son's death. As long as I live, I will continue to speak on it, continue to try to find the truth, because like they say, no justice, no peace. And that is literally true, because I've been through so much. I've been through so much because of that prison covering up my son's murder, and probably a whole lot of other things that they've done to other people. And I want to be a mouthpiece. I want to be a face for other prisoners as well, because we have to rock for justice, and that was his like AKA name, Rocky, when he was born, and we cut it down to rock, and rock for justice for him and others, because it's just too much going on in these prisons. And they need to do something about it, all the abuse and starvation, and just no medical care. And it's like, where's the hope, where's the care? uh, do the prisons get away with it, or who's holding them accountable? We're in 2023,
Yeah.
and they're not being held accountable. you know I mean,
Yeah, you definitely said a
exposure of everything
mouthful.
else.
Hmm.
Yes.
You said a mouthful. You said a lot. When it comes to exposing them, it's like I don't know if you ever heard the term, but they have this term that's called the good old boy system, and it's pretty much a
Mhm.
system where people that are doing the wrong thing take care of each other, and they're on different levels, so
Yeah.
they have the ability to
Yeah.
do so. So that's like where
Yes.
we the people come into play, because we're the ones that have to lift our voices and bring them together to be able to, you know what I mean, say these are the things that's going on and we want some type of justice
Yeah.
about them. Now, when it comes
Yeah.
to the things that they said that your that it was that the things that happened with your son are self-inflicted, we know that's not true. But the fact that they tried to pass that off to be true, I think speaks volumes
Yes.
to they can't be trusted. It's like they didn't do an investigation. They weren't really honest, as if he didn't just pass away, he had been passed away. And you got to see
Right.
that with your own eyes when you demanded to
Yes.
see your son,
Yes.
now
Yeah.
how we know for sure that he didn't do these things to himself is because we had my cousin, which is a registered nurse that specifically knows a lot about forensics. I sent her his autopsy and everything that they found, and she herself said, there's absolutely no way that he killed himself. Someone did this to him. And she was pretty much in shock with her findings because she was so used to believing that the police always do the right thing. So her herself, she had it shocked her to be able to see that that kind of stuff actually happens. I know that
Yeah.
you already knew this from the things that you seen with your own eyes, and you just have a feeling. I think mothers, y'all are connected to your children in a way
Yeah.
where you know when something's
Yeah.
going on with them. I want to give you an
Mhm.
opportunity to tell people the experiences that you had with trying to get help from the medical examiners and how they kind of just gave you the runaround when it came to finding out what happened with your son.
Well, one thing stands out right now is that, I hired an independent examiner. And, Indiana, they're not only, I truly believe they're not only covering up my son's death, but a whole lot of other stuff. I don't know what, but I really do think that they're covering up a lot of things because, like I said, I hired an independent examiner. And when the examiner seen all the multiple wounds on my son's body without, getting the autopsy back yet, because we were waiting on autopsy, they were appalled. But some way, when the autopsy came back and what they said at Wabash Valley Prison, when they did their autopsy, they went along with everything. And then I asked questions. Okay, if my son if my son had all these multiple wounds, how who put him there? How? I never ever got an answer. No one got back with me. I kept calling and calling and no answer could explain to me. The coroner, the lawyer, no one would get back with me and let me know what exactly happened to my son. It's like I need answers. I need answers. How is it that if he did to this to himself, how is it that his lips, were blue and he had been dead for about 10 hours? What about the guards in the prison? When they were supposed to check on him, that wasn't even in the report. And the coroner's office, they didn't have a time of death. None of this is really American, or what do you say, constitutional? How do they get away with so many missing pieces of evidence and no answers, to his mother, and sending me through so much mental and heart anguish, no answers. Like I'm just supposed to just, you know what? If the devil had his way, I would lay down and die or either lose my mind. But because through the grace of God, he's given me the strength to move forward, because this is totally inhumane, and it's wrong. And in the autopsy, when did they do a tubulation? Sticking a tube down his throat. Were they trying to save him, or were they trying to push drugs down his throat? I don't know. I don't know. And the tikia in his eye. How does he get the tikia in his eye? That has to do with him sitting up or laying down. I don't have any answers to any of that. And I got a friend, Andy tried to help me. I wanted to go pro se. But the judge, of course, he said, you're not a lawyer. You cannot represent your son. And to take it even further, to try to get uh, try to get Indiana to get me a lawyer. They said, okay, we're going to do that. But you know what kind of lawyer they gave me? They gave me a lawyer that works for an unemployment firm. No, no, I want the best. You guys are going to sweep it up under the rug. You're going to play it off. And I'm supposed to dummy down or accept any kind of lawyer for uh, for my son, which I believe is a homicide, a murder. No, mm-mm, no. So even right today, the judge is like, no, there's nothing you can do about it. So, it is something I can do about it. I'm going to continue to expose Wabash. I'm going to continue to search for help. I need someone's help. I need some lawyers. I need people to look at the case. And if you dare, and if you have the courage to address Wabash Valley Prison, because this is the America that we live in, that it can actually be in plain sight, all the evidence. And like, your sister, like your cousin, that's the nurse. And not only her, I talked to multiple nurses. I let them see the autopsy, and they don't even know each other. All of them said the same thing. They said, Sheila, something is very wrong here. See, because they said my son had like a little, what is it, his roommate said he had a small knife in there, but they couldn't find the knife, and the roommate said that he flushed it down the toilet. And they said my son was banging his head against the prison walls and things like that. But from the nurse's view, from a medical view, there's no way he could have done this without. If he did, where were the guards? Like in the report, they were yelling out. Other inmates were yelling out, stop making so much noise. And if he had all those wounds on his body, the blood, you know what? I mean, it's just hard to believe. And it really, my mind, I really have to push negative thoughts out, because I can only imagine what my baby went through that night by himself, because I believe the guards were a part of it and they let it happen. Because even in the report, the lawyer that I hired, well, I didn't hire him. I was, he said that he would take the case. I don't know how it was going to work, but they recommended the autopsy lady that I hired. She recommended a lawyer in Indiana, and he just dropped me like a hot potato once the inmate agreed to all these things, and which of course we know it's an inside job. It's an inside cover up, and he didn't even get all the answers. He just dropped me. So that gives me more incentive to believe it's something really bad going on in Indiana, and it's wrong. And when you have the coroner's office, I gave it to one coroner, people to do the autopsy, and that person gave it to someone else, and no one ever called me. And on top of that, I get excited because I just can't believe that they can get away with all of this. They didn't have all the photos. The coroner lady, they was asking for the original photos. Nobody ever got them. So I left it alone for a little while, but the Holy Spirit would not let me drop it completely. He said, Sheila, what about those photos? And guess what? I think it was maybe 6 months or something like that. I can't even think now, but it's documented somewhere. I have it, that I called the lawyer up and I said, no, I called the first autopsy, a private autopsy, and I said, did you ever get those photos? And she said no. So I called the lawyer, and they said, oh yeah, we have them. Guess what, you guys? My son's cut up body, box of photos, had dust on them up under their desk somewhere. Somebody held those photos back for a reason. And some of those photos actually look different from the other photos. I mean, how can they get away with this? I mean, you might as well say the the United States is crooked. I mean, I'm saying it, and I need the world to hear this. I need other newscasters to hear this. And here's the thing about it too. You know how they, Jay, that they report what's a death at a prison. They didn't even report my son's death. It wasn't even on the news in Indiana. Once again, more evidence of them hiding what happened. It wasn't documented anywhere. The news people, they should have been all over that. But obviously, it's something about my son's death. And that's why I believe God allowed me to be there that day. And the Wabash Valley Prison, they wanted to take my son's body, and I said, no, no. It's like the Holy Spirit said, no, Sheila, get his body, because they probably would have cremated him. I said, no, I didn't know how I was going to bury
Yeah.
him, but the Holy Spirit said, no,
Right.
do not let them have his body. I said, no, I want my son's body. And
Yeah, I can understand why you feel that way because from the beginning, like you shared, and even I had that feeling, like from the beginning,
yeah,
they mishandled everything that was going on from the report at the
yeah,
facility that wasn't correct. And
mm-hmm,
the questioning of his cellmate talking about flushing a weapon that wasn't ever really followed through with.
right,
They and then
mm-hmm,
I remember you telling me how these pictures that this independent person that was supposed to be helping you needed
yeah,
never came, and she needed them to close
mm-hmm,
her report, and she never
yes,
got them, but the report was closed, correct?
it's
So that
close
means she
anyway.
didn't really do that correctly. So I can understand why
Yeah,
you feel like all these entities are working together. I would have come to the same conclusion, and I do. There's clearly
yes,
some type of cover up or something going on, and they are trying to hide it the best that they can. And then for them to get you legal representation, and it's not even the kind that you want. It was like they tried to set up all of these
yeah,
stumbling blocks. I feel. So I definitely
yes,
understand where you're coming from, and I'm glad that you are still continuing to fight. A lot of people don't make it this far, and they might give up or just go away.
yeah,
But like you said, it was put on your heart to continue to push forward through this. I know that it's hard for you. I can only imagine. Love is, I don't even think it's a real word they've made yet for it. You know what I mean? Just how tremendous that it could be. And your son is he's very blessed to have somebody like you on his side.
yeah. He called me
Um,
he said, you're my queen, mama. You're my queen. Yeah,
yeah, you
you're
definitely
my
are a
queen.
queen. I know that you wanted to have an opportunity to show the pictures of your son, but do you
Yes.
need a moment? I know that this is a lot. I know it's a
Well,
lot.
one thing that I want to say is that if anybody, like, you go on my Facebook page or my Instagram or TikTok or anything, um, I just want to say there are good days and there are bad days, and everybody knows that when you know, everyone does not know what you're going through, like behind the scenes. But I am a survivor and I'm a strong believer in Jesus Christ, and God has me, but I'm also human, and I'm pushing through, and with your help, Jay, and many others on my Facebook page, on my family, to push through this, because even when someone is walking down the street, because I don't have closure to this, it doubles and triples and piles on me. When I'm walking down the street and I see someone that's similar to my son, ah, you know, it just goes through my heart, just a glimpse of his face. And when I see like prison movies or a commercial or something, it makes me think about those guys and feel about those guys that might be going through what my son is going through. And then I drive for Lyft. When I get in the car, when I meet men that have just gotten out of prison, and they talk about their story. And because of the strength that God has put in me, I give them the story of my son, because I feel that I am like like in the 60s. If you all remember Edgar Mevers, his mother, where he was killed by and murdered and mutilated by a lot of white men. And they pulled his body out of the water. But she put her son's funeral on blast. She put his body, she didn't want it covered up. She wanted the public, and they have the pictures right today, the public to see what they did to her son. And so in the midst of me having all these reminders, because I don't have any closure, I don't have any peace, I don't have any justice, I feel that I have to do this. I have to continue to expose what has happened to my son and help others like at the same time. And that's tremendous pressure, because tears come sometime, and sometimes I have to, recollect myself. And it's like, God, just help me to continue this journey. And so with that said, another reason why I wanted to go live and ask Miss J to help me, because um your sister, right? Can you explain? You say your part
Sure.
about her?
Yeah,
Yes.
so State versus Us is a magazine that was created by T.N. Hamilton, and it is a voice of the voiceless. It's a vehicle for the voice of the voiceless. What it also does is it exposes the corruption, the sedition, and all of those things that's going on in prisons from coast to coast and even abroad. This is something that she created with those that's incarcerated and formerly so in mind, and it's pretty much a place to talk about what's going on, not only the achievements but about the crimes that these institutions and judicial systems have put upon the people. And in this particular one right here, the one with Chia Lee on the cover, I always want to call them episodes, but they're not episodes. They're issues.
Mhm.
The issues. And this issue right here with Charlie on the front, this is the one that I wrote about what happened with your son Brandon Lewis up at Wabash Correctional. And
Yeah.
everything we talk about is it's based on facts of what actually happened. And this is all things that you can find um because they exist. So this is the magazine that my sister Sheila is holding right here.
Yes. And I would, I want to come on here with the magazine, and I just want to first, before I open it up, the story. And my son Brandon, his name is right here. The story. Let's see if I can get that right.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it'd be kind of hard when it's on the. Yeah, I see him. It's right there
can you see it?
above your
Yeah,
finger.
Brandon
Yep,
Lewis.
it's
Yes,
above your
homicide
finger.
or suicide. Yes. And before I open up to the story in him, I'd like to give you a few moments, because I have to expose in this book with his story, um,
Mhm.
his body, the stab wounds, what my son's body looked like. He is laying down on a slab. I had to go through this first. I cried. I dropped the book. I went through so many emotional um, strands to be able to do this. And I need you guys to be with me, because the journey hasn't stopped yet. I still have to look at these photos. I still have to expose. And this magazine will be going from coast to coast. And I have to be able to, in my mind and in my heart, each and every time, look at my son's mutilated body. And it's for him, and it's for other inmates and the ones that are on their way to the prisons, because that's what they're doing. They're building more prisons. They're sending them. They're not helping them. And I just want to say that I want to add this, that um, they said it had to do with drugs. Well, you know what? If that was true, there was no help for my son. Obviously, there's no, and fentanyl is a crisis in the United States. But what are they doing about it in the prisons? Am I the only mother or the last mother? I mean, we have to come together because people that are on drugs, they go into the prison. They're making money off of the drugs. But that right there is not my business. But if someone dies, like my son, if he dies from drugs in the prisons, they should be held accountable because you as taxpayers, you pay your money for them to be taken care of and and to be kept safe. And they didn't do that for my son. And now they want to cover it up. So I am getting ready to open to the pages. You can turn your camera off or turn your face for a few minutes and just listen to my voice, and I'll tell you when I have closed the book. But I'm getting ready to open up because some people can stand to see it. I just want it to be exposed. Well, and show you guys, and I want you guys to you're hanging in there with me. I'm not going through this by myself, and I don't want to go through it by myself and behind closed doors. No, the devil is a liar. No, I will not die or go crazy behind walls because I won't be open about my feelings and my thoughts and what I carry inside each and every day. So I'm getting ready to open it up. You get to it. Jay, you can say something while I get to it. I'm just a little nervous.
It's okay. I definitely understand. We are telling y'all, viewers, discretion is advised. You don't have
Yes,
to
words.
leave
Thank you.
watching, but you might want to just listen so you can get the information and not necessarily see the images. The images are of her son and what they did. I know this is sound really hard for you. I could tell you all day not to be nervous, but
Yeah, I am a
I
little
understand.
nervous. I'm probably skipping over it.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Amen.
If you want, we can take us 30 seconds, 30-second intermission. Give you a
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to take 30 seconds. We'll be back with y'all shortly.
Okay. Thank
Okay. So I'm back, y'all. Thanks for working with us. We're definitely going to get it worked out. My sis
you.
finds that. Take a deep breath, sis.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that I didn't take it.
You take your time. I will go get mine, but my
It's,
nephew is as soon as he
yeah, I was gonna
see me, he
say.
gonna be on me. He gonna be on me.
Right, right,
He gonna be on me on the screen, on the laptop, on everything.
right. I was
It
trying to
should
see
maybe
which
in the front tell you what page it's on.
what in the.
In the front, it should tell you what page it's on.
Okay, okay, that'll be the easiest. Let me. That's what I should have did at first. um, no, it didn't. It didn't have the page. It didn't have.
Does it have it like in the beginning?
No, I think it's like towards
Uh,
like the ending part. Let me just do one page at a time here.
okay. Uh, because of the way the StreamYard is set up, we have about 12 more minutes.
12
of
minutes.
broadcasting time.
Okay, thanks for telling
Of
me.
broadcasting time.
Okay, here it
Yes,
is. Yeah, because it was
ma'am.
further to the back. All right, my
Okay.
brothers and sisters, I just want to show you this is first of all, when they unzip the bag, this is first what I seen. But only thing is his eyes were open. And I had to deal with that. And this right here is what I had to deal with to see my son. That's his arm. Can you see that, Jay?
Yes, ma'am.
The arm. And the story is there with it. And this is one of the hard photos too, because that's his face to look at. And I'm not gonna just leave it open. But um, if you're coming back on, just a few seconds, you coming back on, it would be such a blessing if you all would purchase this magazine, and share it. Share my story. You might know someone, a lawyer or an official or a congressperson, a prison person, somebody that can actually help me and to expose and get to the truth. And because I'm still mourning his death, I'm just making it through, still suffering through it because there's no closure. I have not been able to completely go on with my life. Not completely, because the United States and right now really Indiana won't let me. They are totally responsible for everything that I've been going through ever since November 9th, 2000. No, 2019. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
I know that
I need you.
it was
I need you
2019,
all.
but I know it feels like yesterday. And
Yes.
you definitely need our support. Anyone that can hear the sound of our voices or can see us, I beg and urge of you to offer support. You might know somebody, that knows someone. Word of mouth can spread pretty quickly. And especially now in the social media age, it can get out there and it can spread like wildfire. So I definitely, y'all have to help my sister, man, so she can get some, I don't even know what to call it now, justice for your son. And to look into Wabash and their practices to maybe save someone else's son, you know,
Yes. That's what I would
like
like.
that's
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
Yes, and change some
Um,
of the policies to prison. Change some of the policies that that the parents, the people, the relatives will be able to uh, get more information, get more documents. When things go on in case of the worst, in case of death. We can get like just more information about our loved ones. We should be allowed to do that because the
I
prisons are
agree.
so treacherous. They're so treacherous. We should be allowed.
I agree with you 100%. And I thank you for coming to share your story
Thank
with
you so
everybody.
much.
I know it's hard, sis. I'm gonna call you as soon as I finish this broadcast. I'm gonna give you a call, okay? You take you a moment and take you some deep breaths and just try to center a little bit, okay? I love you.
All right. I love you more, and I love all you guys. Please hang in there with me. And most of all, pray for me. Thank you, Jay. I love you. Good night. And
You're
Merry
welcome. Love you
Christmas.
too.
Merry
Love
Christmas.
you too, bro.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
That's my sister, y'all. She's going through it. I cannot imagine losing a child, let alone losing a child to violence. She's pouring her heart out to y'all, and I pray that it touches your heart, resonates with your soul, and that you offer some type of help. If you know someone who might know somebody who knows somebody else, word of mouth goes a long way. Sharing this broadcast will go a long way. I'll also do some editing of the broadcast to be able to shorten it up so people will have an abridged version that they can share. She definitely needs our help, and we have to help each other. Unfortunately, when things happen to us and to our loved ones, we have to come out in these mass numbers sometimes to get some type of solution or some type of justice. And this is one of those times. They seen this woman as some, an older woman that they felt like they could take advantage of and spin her and not give her any assistance when it comes to finding out what happened to her son. From the very beginning, the way that they handled this situation is unacceptable, and the way that they're continuing to carrying it is diabolical. She's asking for our help. And like I said, even if it's just sharing this, talking about the story, purchasing the magazine, and just getting the information out there, I beg of you. I know my dear sister does as well. Like she says, this is something she can't rest with. This is something that's, I'm sure, with her when she wakes up until she lays down. And her and her son deserve some type of justice. Okay. Y'all are very much appreciated. I hope that everyone is being safe. Let us not forget to look out for each other, to care for one another, and try to do right by each other. I know it can be hard. Something about the end of the year can make people very antsy or on edge. So a lot of people that are struggling out there financially, mentally, emotionally, and I pray that y'all get some type of peace in your soul. Okay. This Week in Black will be back full in effect next year. Okay, 2024. But like I said, I wanted to do this something special. My sister in love, Sheila, she asked me to give her opportunity to address the public, and that's what we did here this evening. I hope that y'all stay great. I hope that y'all are surrounded by love. And I hope y'all and wish to y'all and send y'all many peace and blessings. It's your girl J Renee, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this broadcast. Y'all be well and enjoy your new year. Peace.